The Red Raiders look to bounce back in a major way, coming back to the 806 and facing off against the lowly Oklahoma State Cowboys. In today's video, we'll discuss what Texas Tech has to do to get back on track. Will Behren Morton play in this football game? We'll look at the odds, and I'll give my score prediction. Let's get to it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. Appreciate y'all tuning into today's video. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube and the Red and Black Report. You know how I love to start these game preview videos because there's no other way to start it. Let's go ahead and hear from you guys. What's your score prediction for Oklahoma State at number 14, Texas Tech? And by the way, I do think 14 is a solid landing spot for Texas Tech after their performance out in Tempe, albeit it was a last-minute loss due to Sam Leavitt and that Sun Devil offense. Jordan Tyson's legit, man. But that was last week. We're moving forward. Let me know your score prediction down in the comments below. All right, let's get to the latest when it comes to Behren Morton. You can see it on your screen right there. This from Pete Nakos of On3 Sports, and Joey McGuire reiterated it during his weekly presser leading up to the game for Oklahoma State, saying that Behren Morton remains day-to-day and will be reevaluated this week. He was limited in practice last week and was available in an emergency role. Expect the decision on the starting quarterback versus Oklahoma State later this week. Another reason to hit that subscribe button, we'll be going live here on the channel on Friday discussing all the latest for Texas Tech football ahead of Oklahoma State, including if Behren Morton will be playing. If he won't, we'll discuss Will Hammond and what that means for Texas Tech. But again, just another reason to hit that subscribe button. All right, I'll be honest with you. I was a little harsh. Hand up for accountability. I was a little harsh when it came to calling Oklahoma State in the open lowly Oklahoma State. That's a little harsh. They've gone through enough this year, but it's been brutal up in Stillwater. You think about it, Mike Gundy no longer there in Stillwater as the head man. They have an interim head coach. They are on a now quarterback that started his college career as a quarterback, but transitioned to wide receiver, and now he has transitioned back to the quarterback position. It's been, simply put, a mess up in Stillwater. And let's go ahead and look at the stats for this football game. You can see it on your screen right there. Texas Tech is the #1 scoring offense in the Big 12 by a touchdown. Don't include the extra point, just simply a touchdown, 6 points there. While Oklahoma State is the least scoring offense in the Big 12 by nearly a touchdown, about 4.5, compared to West Virginia. So it is literally the #1 offense versus the 16 offense in the Big 12. Same can be said on the defensive side of the football. Texas Tech has the best scoring defense in the Big 12, while Oklahoma State allows the most in 38.4 points per game. Now, when you look at totals, Texas Tech, #1 in terms of yards per game. Oklahoma State, last. Same can be said on the defensive side of the ball as well. Texas Tech allows the least amount of yards. Oklahoma State gives up nearly 470. You look at the offense in terms of rushing, Texas Tech, third best rushing attack. Oklahoma State, second worst. Texas Tech, best run defense in the Big 12. Oklahoma State, 13th. So they're not technically the bottom in the Big 12, but they're getting a little bit better, it looks like, in that regard. They really have struggled when it comes to really stopping the run this season. We move on to the passing attack. Texas Tech has the third best passing attack in terms of yards per game in the Big 12. Oklahoma State, the second worst at 172.3. Texas Tech's pretty middle of the pack when it comes to passing defense, coming in at #8, but Oklahoma State allows nearly 300 yards passing per game, which is worst in the Big 12, 296.6 to be exact. Again, when you look at Oklahoma State right now, again, I'm not trying to harp on it. It is one of those deals where it's unfortunate because they have been good for a long period of time, but this program is at its lowest that it has been in a very long time. This is the quintessential get-right game for the Red Raiders, and it's much needed in the sense of, are you playing a really high-level opponent this week? No, but I do like the fact that this comes right before you go on your 2-game most important stretch of the season and after a loss. An unfortunate loss, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Hat tip to Arizona State. you need to get right if you're Texas Tech before the two hardest games left on your schedule, at Manhattan and at BYU. That being said, you can't look ahead from Oklahoma State. You have to focus, but I'm viewing this game more in a non-con light. I want to see, even if Behren Morton starts in this football game, I want to see Will Hammond. I want to see Mitch Griffs. I want to see some of the younger guys that still have the availability to redshirt and play in a game, play in this game. This is a game where Texas Tech can get right from a confidence perspective, get back on track in some of those nuances that they have to be good at for the next two games going forward in terms of Kansas State and BYU, because, again, you do not hold the keys to your own destiny anymore when it comes to the Big 12 title opportunity. Now, you still have a very good shot, and we'll look at the odds here in a little bit in terms of the latest Big 12 title odds, but you still have some work to be done, right? If you beat BYU in a couple weeks, you're in a good spot, but you cannot look ahead if you are Texas Tech. You have to go in with the mindset that you have to take Oklahoma State seriously. They obviously will. Joey McGuire won't allow them to really think any other way, and neither will the leaders of this team, whether that's Skylar Gill-Howard, Behren Morton, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter. They will take Oklahoma State seriously, and it's much needed because Oklahoma State, we'll look at the odds here in a second, they're not getting a lot of respect from Vegas, but let's go ahead and look at some of the players you need to know for Oklahoma State. I get it. You see Zane Flores there. He's their leading passer on the season, but their starting quarterback against Texas Tech will be Sam Jackson V. He is a guy that, as I mentioned, started his career as a quarterback, transitioned to wide receiver, and now is back at the quarterback position for the Cowboys because, simple and plain, they have no other options at this point. They had to do something different. And he's a guy where he may not beat you through the air, but he's a guy that can run a little bit. You see down here below, I get it, it's negative 10 yards, but his legs, he is a true dual threat guy and a guy that you have to take seriously in the run game, okay? There was a play against Cincinnati where he stood out and he really created something out of nothing for Oklahoma State. So Texas Tech is going to have to stay disciplined. They're going to probably have to spy him a little bit and force him to beat you through the air because, simple and plain, I don't think he can do it. But he is athletic enough to extend drives, and yet is another athletic quarterback Texas Tech is going to have to game plan for. Rodney Fields Jr. is the leading rusher for the Cowboys, averaging about 5.5 yards per carry, 420 yards on the season, 1 touchdown. He's a solid running back. It's just, again, he's on Oklahoma State, so he doesn't get a lot of talking about. Now, Rodney Fields also can catch it out of the backfield as well, the third leading pass catcher for the Cowboys. The leading pass catcher, it's between Rigby and Freeman. Those are the guys you need to know most. Rigby is more of that big play wide receiver guy, while Gavin Freeman is more of that, think Coy Aiken type player when it comes down to it at the wide receiver position. You don't have to worry about tight ends too much on this one. This is going to be a running team led by Rodney Fields Jr., and then Jackson V will also have a big part in that at the quarterback spot. But the two guys you have to know what they're at specifically in terms of that intermediate passing game will be Gavin Freeman, and then on the outside in terms of big play potential will be Rigby. Now, when it comes to the defense, you can see a couple of guys stand out in terms of the tackling. You got Rawls, McCoy, and Robertson. Those guys all have 40-plus tackles. They don't have a ton of sacks on this team. Wendell Gregory is the guy that leads them in sacks with 3. Not too far behind is Malik Charles with 2. They've got a few sacks on the season, 13 total, with a lot of those coming outside of Big 12 play. But the guys that you need to know about are the linebackers in Brandon Rawls and then Brian McCoy Jr. Those guys are all over the place. They're true sideline-to-sideline guys. They can get physical in the run game. They'll be interesting to watch, while Parker Robertson in the secondary for the Oklahoma State Cowboys is more of that really downhill type guy, not back in the secondary. He can also be back there as well with the interceptions and pass breakups, but he's a guy that really is able to get downhill, be physical in the run game, and create issues there as well. Now, when we talk about the odds, we talked about the early odds for this game early on in the week, and I'll be honest with you, they haven't changed much, so get ready to see that. This was a wild number to me, just considering it being a Big 12 game. Vegas does not view Oklahoma State against Texas Tech. They don't view Oklahoma State as a Power 4 team. That's not me trying to be disrespectful, but in terms of the level of competition, they just don't view them as that right now. because as you can see on your screen right now, the Red Raiders, yes, you see that correctly, according to FanDuel, are 37.5-point favorites with a 56 total over-under in this one. Basically, they're saying they're giving about, 9.5 points to Oklahoma State in this football game. Vegas is basically saying we'd be surprised if Oklahoma State scored in double digits against the Red Raiders. I truly would be too, to be honest with you. And we'll get to my score prediction here in a minute. But those are the current odds for Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. When it comes to the Big 12 title race, you can see the odds right here according to FanDuel. Texas Tech still the odds-on favorite even after their loss to Arizona State to win the Big 12. That being said, it dropped pretty significantly for the Red Raiders. They were at minus 185 before kickoff against Arizona State. That is now minus 110. Texas Tech still the favorites. Arizona State jumped from 5th to 2 after their win against Texas Tech. BYU still in a good spot with a lot of games ahead of them. Cincinnati, same case there as BYU and Cincinnati are the two unbeaten teams in the Big 12 when it comes to conference play. Arizona State has some, big-time wins, obviously the most notable against Texas Tech. But Texas Tech is in a firm position to still win the Big 12 conference. Now, when it comes to the score of this game, I think Texas Tech gets right in a major way in this one. I'm not saying this is 2011 reversed, but damn it, it would not surprise me. I think Texas Tech is going to open up a can of you-know-what. It's going to be a BTA situation, and truth be told, I don't know if it matters, if it's Will Hammond or Behren Morton at the starting quarterback position for the Red Raiders. I would like it to be Behren Morton because I think he needs some in-game reps before you throw him into the fire up in Manhattan against BYU the week after for the next two games after Oklahoma State for Texas Tech. That being said, I think the Texas Tech defense comes out and wreaks havoc on the Oklahoma State offense, and you saw it there. The total over-under was set at 56.5. I think Texas Tech scores 56 by themselves. I've got Texas Tech 56, Oklahoma State 10. That's my score prediction for this one. Again, I think Texas Tech opens a can of whoop-ass and just BTA against Oklahoma State, and they exercise a lot of demons after that unfortunate loss for the Red Raiders out of Arizona State, where truth be told, Arizona State, I mean, they beat Texas Tech in a way that I think a lot of teams with a lot of talent are going to try and beat them. Ball control and force their secondary to really prove that they can cover wide receivers. But again, my score prediction in this one is Texas Tech 56, Oklahoma State 10. Let me know your score prediction down in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube right here in the Red and Black Report. Also, be sure to go check out the Texas Tech men's basketball season preview here on the channel. I went through everyone on the roster that will be in the rotation. I gave you a breakdown of non-con, the Big 12 schedule, as well as where I think Texas Tech will go in March Madness. It's the previous video here on the channel. You should go check it out for sure. But again, free Texas Tech content, whether it's football, basketball, high school recruiting in terms of the portal, we've got you covered right here on the Red and Black Report. All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, as always, stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.